Yo, my name is Julien Melnick, and welcome back to the Console Gaming Channel. Guys, today is all about frames per second, and you see that? Kind of unnatural. This is 60 frames per second. In fact, this is what most games last gen were played at, and a great deal of games right now are being played at. But today, specifically today, we're talking about 120 frames per second, which the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series X are flexing real hard right now. So let's jump right in and let's clear up some misconceptions and also give you the information you need to choose which system is going to be the best one for you. Starting with games available at higher frame rates. Well, right out the gates, the loser is going to be the PlayStation 5. Which kind of bums me out. I got the PlayStation 5 expecting there to be a little bit more, but realistically, it has the least amount of games optimized for that 120 frames per second. But what it does make up for is what they look like. The resolution and the detail in these games actually they blow my mind. They may be capped at that 60 frames per second, but because they're stuck right there, they're able to boost everything else, and you got yourself quite an exciting image. And pair that with their DualSense controller, it's immersive. Now, because it is at that 60 frames per second and the ones available at 120 are so little, it does lose this category, leaving the winner to the Xbox Series X and Series S. In fact, the Series X has the most available games at 120 frames per second, but the Series S is trailing behind. There are a great deal of games you can play at that higher frame rate, and, well, if it can achieve it, it will put it out there and you'll be able to see the beautiful smoothness of 120. And I've experienced it with games such as Fortnite, as well as the beautiful, beautiful Warzone. I'm not a huge fan of Call of Duty Warzone, but I'll tell you right now, it's outputting at like almost 100, which is pretty impressive for such a small machine. In fact, if you're looking to pick up a machine to just play the Call of Duty games, Warzone specifically, because Call of Duty Black Ops does not run at 120. But if you're looking to just play Warzone, the Series S actually can output at that higher frame rate. Now, you will have to pair this with a monitor or television. And this is where there is some serious misconceptions, and I fell into it. And I want to clear that up when it comes to which one is actually going to work the best for which system and give you the maximum amount of options when it comes to seeing your game at those higher frame rates. But before we hop too far into it, if you're gaining value from this, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to be a part of this community, it's real simple. You just hit that subscribe. If you're like, not only do I want to be a part of this community, but you know what? I want to be a part of the team. The team being totally excellent and magnificent. That's right, it's an acronym. And you can be a part of the team. You get a little badge next to your name and some custom emojis that we're always going to be updating. And that is your way of saying, I want to be a part of that team. Now, there's no paywall when it comes to my content. Everything is going to be given to you guys. But the team members, you will get access to a private Discord room. And you'll just be a part of the team. You'll be able to say, hey, guess what? I'm part of the team. All right, back to what I'm talking about, which is which monitor is going to be the best for your system. And, well, let me tell you what happened to me. I got the PlayStation 5, and I've been talking at length about how I play consoles primarily on gaming monitors. Well, it turns out the image quality and the image being output by that PlayStation 5 is so great. It is outputting a 4K image, and there's not much customization when it comes to that image, that my display cannot actually bring that information truly over to the display and give me the option for 120 frames per second. It caps at 60, and that is because the connection behind is HDMI 2.0. In fact, most monitors are HDMI 2.0. It is rare or extremely expensive to find a gaming monitor that has HDMI 2.1 on the back of it, which is what is needed to bring all that information from your PlayStation 5 and push it through the display and give you truly that experience, that high frame rate experience. So, though this display is nice, beautiful, it outputs that 1440p, which is true 2K, it can't do it. Instead, what it does is it takes that image, the giant and beautiful 4K, it compresses it, squeezes it down, it doesn't lose any information, and it basically gives you the most vibrant, beautiful HDR image on that display, and it looks incredible. It looks better than my television. And my television is a very nice 4K TV, and this looks better right here in front of me. So that's what ends up happening. So if you're looking to play the 120 frames per second, the PlayStation 5, unfortunately, is not going to be the one for you, especially if you're playing it on a monitor. Now, if you have a television that does have that HDMI 2.1 and it outputs 120 frames per second, you can do it, but from what I understand from competitive gaming or any sort of shooters, television is not going to be the way you want to go just because of latency, and also it's kind of crazy playing games when you have to look all over the display. It is so powerful and so amazing and has so much under the hood that it's a little too much under the hood. And it's really hard to parallel park that Lamborghini. Well, same thing here. It's hard to push out that image truly through your gaming monitor and get that 120 frames per second. Now, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S have no problem because they give you the customization options. They say, hey, you want to change your resolution? Drop it down. Drop it down. What are you playing it on? Are you playing it on a monitor that's only at 1440p? Let's bring all of your images down to 1440p. That way your gaming monitor is only getting the information that it needs, not any more, not any less. So I was playing Fortnite on the Xbox Series S at 120 frames per second. It was great, smooth, great, beautiful, awesome. I switched over to my PlayStation 5, and it was not the same smoothness. It was 60 frames per second, which honestly, for most people, they're not going to see a difference. I can, but that's because I'm looking for the difference. I will say the experience that I had on my PlayStation 5 was a little bit better because of the way it looks, because of the DualSense controllers. I did, in fact, enjoy it better. I also like the layout of the thumbsticks. So it comes down to personal preference, but if you are looking for the machine that is going to grant you the ability to hit 120 frames per second on a gaming monitor and you do not want to break the bank, PlayStation 5, unfortunately, is not going to be the one for you. It's going to be one of the Xbox systems, and I would argue that the Xbox Series S, again, this thing is blowing my mind. Now, on the flip side, if you're looking for the machine that is going to give you the most beautiful, insane, crazy image quality that you have ever seen in your life, I'd say go with the PlayStation 5 or the Series X. I'm leaning on the PlayStation 5 side, but you better have a TV that is going to have that high refresh rate as well as that 4K ability, because that is what is going to be necessary for you to experience the maximum potential from these machines, because boy oh boy do they have a lot of power underneath the hood. So yeah, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, or PlayStation 5. Which one are you going to get? Are you going to get multiple ones? Let me know in the comments below. Are you part of the gaming trinity, which is PlayStation 5, Xbox Series whatever, and Nintendo Switch? Because I tell you what, there's nothing more holy than all three systems. That's all I have for you guys today, and most of all, happy gaming.